US-led fight against the ISIL militants just doesn't make sense strategically. Those words from the Syrian National Coalition. The group says the U.S. can't be reactive and just wait for terrorists to take over towns and villages. They want to take back land ISIL has already captured. The Syrian National Coalition, by the way, is recognized by the United States as the legitimate representative of the Syrian people. Now to the fighting for control of Kobane. It's not over, not yet. Photographs taken from Turkey show a huge explosion amid the airstrikes. The U.S. says the town appears to be in less danger of falling to ISIL, but that the threat certainly is still there. Hostage-taking has become a key tactic used by Islamic extremists. Its wave of beheadings has sparked outrage and anger and disbelief around the globe. On the Turkey-Syria border, CCTV's Natalie Carney met one teenager who knows firsthand what it's like to be a hostage of ISIL.
Back in May, 16-year-old Azzadin Omar was one of 153 students captured by ISIL militants as they were on their way back to Kobane from school exams in Aleppo.
When I was first captured and learned I was with ISIL, I was scared. We couldn't trust them, of course. They were saying they would not do anything to us, but we were still afraid of them.
Within the first few hours, ISIL released the girls and the young boys, but the roughly 100 that remained would be held hostage for months.
They took us to a mosque and taught us how to pray. In the morning, they gave us breakfast and then took us to a school. Every day, they told us, "You will be released tomorrow." This continued every day, and twice they tried to exchange us for hostages that Syria's main Kurdish rebel group were holding, but that failed.
Azzadin believes they were captured for being from Kobane, where ISIL is fighting a deadly war against Kurdish fighters for the strategic town.
They told us, "If you are just civilians, we will not do anything to you. We will not behead you. If we behead anyone, he's either a terrorist or related to a political party."
Despite the lingering fears, Azzadin says the students were treated rather well. In their first month, they were able to contact their families, enjoy outdoor space, and even play football to pass the time.
Then the atmosphere changed, he says, after some of the students managed to escape.
They made a room for torturing the students. If someone wanted to or tried to escape, they took them to that room and tortured them very, very badly. The members of ISIL were from Syria, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, Afghanistan, Chechnya, Iraq, Jordan, many countries.
Then, after 4 months in captivity, the militants released about 77 of the students who they believed did not have any political or regional associations. Azzadin was one, and he quickly found an internet cafe and called his parents, who had since fled to Turkey.
They told me to go to village near Moon Beach and then cross into Turkey. I was so happy. I couldn't believe I was home again.
Off camera, we hear Azzadin's mom tell us how she cried when she first saw him again.
If you are taken hostage by ISIL, you don't believe you will ever be released. I was very happy when I was released.
Azzadin says he now appreciates the smallest tasks, like washing the dishes. He says he is more religious now and prays every day. Prays to return to Kobane.
CCTV's Natalie Carney joins us now live from the Turkey-Syria border. Heartbreaking stories there, Natalie, and you've been there for a while now. It's your last day. Give us some of your thoughts and reflections of what you've seen so far.
Asya, it's been an incredible 10 days in this particular area. The day I first arrived, we went straight to a hill overlooking Kobane, where most of the journalists are sort of camped out to take in the situation. As soon as we arrived, we saw an airstrike. And I must tell you, I mean, we're seeing it on the television time and time again, but to see it with your own eyes, to hear the noise, it was incredible. It was absolutely surreal. And then to go through the town of Suruç, where people are just everywhere, refugees abound. I mean, the population of that town doubled within a month. People sleeping on park benches, in mosques, in cafes, in abandoned gas stations. It was really gave you an appreciation for the scale of the problem. One of the first refugees I met was a 23-year-old 16-year-old woman named Nasreen Beykul. She had 3 beautiful little boys. She was waiting on the border to get across to Syria and had been for the last 3 days. And I asked her, why? Why are you trying to go back into Kobane? And she mentioned to me that the situation here in Turkey was just so difficult for her because she had nowhere to stay. She couldn't get into one of the camps. She had no work. So despite the dangers in Kobane, she wanted to go back with her 3 children. The situation is very desperate for the refugees. And then we've met martyred families, and to hear the ethnic bond between the Kurdish community was incredibly remarkable. And of course, then the U.S. airdrops, and then the Peshmerga forces, we are waiting for at the moment. It's been a remarkable time, but unfortunately, it is a story that will continue for quite some time still.